So, okay. Hello, everyone. Uh, Srinivas, this session was not for you all. Okay, but if you want to join, it's your call. Okay, but definitely, I mean, this was an LP batch that we are going on in the morning. That's going on. Our batch is in the evening only. Okay, but if you wish to
Oh,
continue, please, there is no problem in that, right?
okay, sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so guys, today it's gonna be one of the very interesting topics, that we'll be covering, right? Today we have, as we started discussing the pipeline of NLP, right? We discussed how exactly the flow of any NLP problem comes into play. We start from the very basics, right? We understand how exactly, from the data gathering we talked about, right? Then eventually we talked about how exactly we, pre-process that data, right? Now there are multiple pre-processing steps that we have. Once the pre-processing is done, then we move into, let's say, a model, let's say building model, right? Feature selections are there, then building the model. So this model building, will happen. We'll try to use some kind of algorithms to build a model. Eventually, once the model is done, we'll try to deploy that model, and then we'll try to evaluate the model and then deploy the model. Okay. So now guys understand this was like a very, very high level overview that we have, talked about. Okay. So now what we'll be doing, one by one, we'll be going in details of every single, let's say now let's suppose we talk about data gathering, right? Now we'll be going in details about every single thing that happens in the data gathering, right? We have like a complete, high level overview of it. We have the complete implementation ready for it, right? Now understand in the production, right? Or let's say when you talk about the real world use cases, it is never like, okay, let's say you have one data and then you're just trying to store that data somewhere, or let's say, just trying to use that particular data and then trying to do a certain task on it and then build a model. This is like a very, very standard thing that usually, you might have been doing till now. But when you talk about the actual production level things, at that particular time, things change completely. Because understand the data that is coming, that is never coming from the one resource. Okay. So let's suppose now there are multiple ways that you get the data from. Let's suppose you get the data from, let's say, different APIs. Now again, depends on the kind of problem you are dealing with. Okay. Many times you get the data from, sometimes you get it from the clients also. There is a data that are getting in form of PDFs also. Right. So let's suppose now if I write, say, getting from data from, okay, data from. Now let's suppose you can get it directly from the clients. Now that can be in any form, right? It can be PDFs, images, right? Uh, like emails, or it can be anything. Okay, or maybe CSV files also. Again, very much possibility. Well and good when you have see better the structured data, better for you. Okay, then you don't need to pre-process that data much. As we have seen, unstructured data is like very, very critical to handle. Okay, means there is no structure to it. When I talk about unstructured data, what do you mean by that, guys? PDF data is there, right? There is no structure to it. So randomly text is written, randomly anywhere images are there, randomly anywhere tables are there, right? Then the data you can get it from, let's say, third party APIs. Okay, third party APIs. Now understand, guys, there are multiple third party APIs, right, where you can easily go and try to find and get the data from, right? So these APIs can be, you can just think about just like an, let's say, URL, or let's say you're getting a password of something. Okay, so what APIs are basically, I think you all know, but still just a simple basic thing. APIs are just like an application interface, let's say programming interfaces. Means what? Let's suppose if you want to access some kind of thing, you can get that particular API and you can use it in your own system. And just like a password, okay? Anyone's password you take and you can use that particular thing in your own system. Okay. So that is what exactly this, uh, you know, third party API means. Now, sorry. Now, when we talk about, let's say, now that is one thing, APIs. Now you can scrape the data. You might have heard about Beautiful Soup and all the different sites, right? From there, you can scrape the data. You can scrape that data, okay, and gather it at one particular place. Now, let's say, suppose, guys, these are the few ways. There are definitely much more we can think about, but these are mainly that we, deal with it. Now, understand, guys, when you get this particular data, you need to store that data somewhere, right? So, for that particular part, first of all, companies have different things set up. Okay, so either the data is directly stored on the cloud. Okay, so today, whatever data we'll be storing, I'll tell you how to store that data on a Google Cloud. Okay, plus how can you store that data into your local system. Okay, and how exactly you can store that data into the, let's say, SQL, NoSQL, MongoDB formats. Now there are multiple databases, right, which actually just a second. Guys, is my screen visible? What is guys, can you see my screen? Okay.
Yes, I am. Okay, I'm
I'm
in
not
my
able.
class. Can you be quiet?
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, it was me. I was telling my son to be quiet. I thought I was on mute. Sorry. Go
Sure,
ahead.
sure. Okay, now see here, guys. Now, as we talked about it, right? Let's suppose, first of all, we started off with understanding. Okay, guys, whiteboard is visible to everyone, right? Yes, great. Now, see, uh, everyone, yes, right? Whiteboard is visible. Hello.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Now, see here, guys. Now, when you talk about what are the different ways we get the data in the industry that we just now talked about, let's suppose, we talked about a few different things on a very high level. And now there comes what are the different ways we store that particular data, right? What are the different ways we store that particular data? Now, just understand, let's say, talk in these particular terms. Okay. Now, let's suppose, let me just, what's happening? Yeah. Okay. Now, just understand this. See, there are, let's say, you talk about databases, like example, let's say MySQL is there, Postgres is there, Oracle is there, MongoDB is there, right? Now, when you talk about the APIs, how exactly, what are the different types of APIs you get? You get the REST APIs are there, Graph APIs are there. There are some kind of external APIs are there. Let's suppose you want to extract the Twitter data. Okay, let's say tweets about something you're trying to extract. So you will get the Twitter data. You can easily extract it from that. That's like an API that you're using. Another thing, what I told you guys, web scraping, like Beautiful Soap, I talked about, extracting the data from particular, let's say, websites. How exactly you can extract it from particular website? You can just get the data from that particular way also. Then another way that you get the data in the industries are by file uploads, like you have CSV files. Maximum times you will get the data in JSON format also. Okay, Excels, JSONs, CSVs, XML files, right? So you can expect the data in every single type of format. Okay, now there are like a lot of even high level things also. Okay, but not exactly we use in every single situation. Let's say you have third party tools like Google Analytics, you have Salesforce, you have Shopify. Then there is an let's say user inputs are there. Many times what happens, you might be seeing, just to collect the data from customers, when they don't have a data, these teams in the company, they will just try to pass some kind of forms, or they will just try to do some kind of surveys, or they'll just try to create some Google forms to you and try to get the as much data as possible. Okay, so in simple terms, this is how exactly different types of, this is how exactly we get the data from different types. Okay, and now when you talk about storing this particular data, now understand, guys. See, whenever we have the very structured data, whenever, let's say, data is in, let's say, proper tables and columns and everything is there, let's say CSV formats. So at that particular time, we try to store that data into MySQL, Postgres, and all these kind of databases. Okay. So let's suppose what I just said. See here, whenever we have a data, the data is there. Let's say you get the data in different forms. Okay. Now see here, what I told you, we can get the data and it is stored in a different ways. Now let's suppose when I talk about, let's say, relational databases. Relational. Okay. So such kind of databases usually, they are stored in a structured format in, let's say, MySQL. Okay. You can store that into let's Postgres. Okay. Then you can store that into, let's say, MySQL. Anything is, anywhere you can just store it. Okay. When you talk about the NoSQL databases, NoSQL databases, no. Now, when I say NoSQL databases, means what? Let's say semi-structured databases, right? Let's suppose now, semi-structured as in what? Let's say some kind of flexible schemas that they carry. Okay. So such kind of databases usually are stored in, let's say, MongoDB. Okay. They have, let's say, DynamoDB. No, there's something called Redshift. Again, this is fine. Eventually, a lot of things you will learn in the industries only. But these are the things, that we do. Now, guys, see, guys, it is fine. You're getting the data from many different places. But understand here, all the data is stored in something called as data lake pipelines. And that is what, one of the pipelines we'll be discussing today. Okay. One of the pipelines we have written completely, and that we'll be discussing today. Okay. So this data lake pipelines means what, guys? Now understand here. Whatever raw data you have, raw data, okay, unstructured data, okay, raw data, unstructured data, PDFs, images, any single thing you have, doesn't matter. This complete data is stored into the data lakes. Data lakes. Now, see, data lakes can be anything, right? Let's say you can literally create, store every single data into the S3 bucket, right? That is given by Amazon. That is also like one of the data lake. You can store that into the, let's say, Azure data lake. You can do that there. You can also use the Google Clouds also. Let's say GCS that we call it as. Okay. Now, whenever you have, let's say, large amount of files, okay, let's suppose now you have large media files, let's say large documents are there, so whenever you have such a large amount of data, you need to store and dump that data somewhere. So again, in such kind of scenarios, S3 buckets are there. Those, and now see, guys, these cloud platforms literally have, like, terabytes of, capacity to handle the data. So you really don't need to worry like how much of the GB you have, doesn't you have, like it will just handle every single thing. Okay. Now that is just about storages, right? So data lake pipelines and data warehouses. Okay. So these are like, the data, you can say, places where, we try to store the complete data that we have. Okay. So here also we'll be building one of the data lake pipelines only, right? And that is the main goal that we have. Now, guys, I hope you understood, like, we get the data from different resources and we try to store that particular data into different resources. Okay. So now, till that, I hope everyone is now pretty clear how exactly things are working, right? So now what we'll be doing, let's say we have the complete. Now, first of all, I will explain you. So, okay, first of all, guys, I hope everyone is clear, right? So what we do, we try to gather the data from multiple resources and we try to store that particular data in a certain way. We try to store that data at one particular place. Now, guys, this is like a one very good use case that we're going to solve today. Okay, so this use case will have, let's suppose we will be trying to scrape the data from, let's say, any news articles. So imagine, let's suppose you're working for, you're just working for any company where, you are just, you have been told to just, get the data about news, right? Different resources are there. From there, you just need to collect the data about the different news that we have. Okay. Now for that particular part, what we'll be doing is, first of all, we'll build the whole pipeline for this particular thing. So that I'll show you. Before that, let me just show you, let's say how exactly we created this. and eventually one by one we'll move forward. Okay, let me again share my screen. Now, guys, just let me know if this whole code is visible to everyone. Yes, everyone?
Yes.
Yes, right? Now see here. Now, guys, understand here. Whenever we write any kind of codes in the production, okay, whenever we write any kind of codes in the production, there is a certain structure that we follow to write the codes. There is a certain structure we follow to write the codes. Now, from here, there are few expectations that I have. Okay. Provided that you already have good knowledge about Python basics and everything. Okay. I won't be explaining you line by line code. Okay. Because now these are pretty, kind of a codes where, you should just try to understand it. Okay. Even if you don't understand, I would always recommend you now have the access to every single thing. Take the codes, try to go one line by line how things are actually working to understand how these things are working. Okay, that you can do. But first of all, I will explain the whole architecture of this particular project, how exactly this code is flowing. Okay, how exactly this code is flowing. Now, first of all, see, in this particular case, I have created the different documents for you. In very simple terms, I have created documents. First document says architecture design. Like this is like the complete architecture of this particular, let's say project. How things are going, what are the different classes we created, how exactly APIs are working. Every single thing is written over here. Don't worry, we're gonna go step by step about everything. I'm just telling you. Second thing is a get guide. Now, let's suppose now, see, this code is there. Definitely now we need to pass this particular code and store it into our GitHub. That is what is the ultimate goal, because then only people will be able to say, okay, what kind of things you are doing, right? Now, with respect to GitHub, what are the important things that you need to know about GitHub? What are the different things you need to know about different fact, let's say things that we do in the GitHub that, will be covered over here. So for that particular, the whole guide is there. Okay. Second thing is, see, you might feel this much, this particular thing as a, more advanced thing or something like that. But guys, nothing like that. Sooner we start with the production level things, better it is for you. Today you might feel, okay, this is a bit difficult to understand or something like that. But regular basis, when you'll be doing the same things, eventually you will get a complete flow of it. Eventually you will have the complete, understanding about it. So you don't have to worry about it. Okay. Now this is like the guide for hands-on guide. Like, how exactly from the very first step, how exactly the basic setup came, then how did we created the virtual environments, right? Then how did we examine the configurations? Okay, and eventually, we are going in complete details about it, how every single step is being followed over here. Okay, every single thing. Now we have project architecture again. Like this is more of a detailed architecture that we have about every single source that has been created. So why exactly I'm telling you this, guys? Because now you will have this access to it. So I don't want, just, to get lost. I don't want you to just get lost so that you don't understand anything. Nothing should happen. So therefore, you will always, guys, am I visible to everyone or am I audible to everyone?
Now you are, but previously, yes, you are. You was not.
You were disconnected.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. For how long?
Just 30 seconds.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay. I think, let me see. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
I think Wi-Fi just got connected. Okay, let me just start again. Okay, so now we were here, so we were discussing about it. So what I told you, now these are all the, let's say, complete project architecture that we have built here. Means you will understand step by step every single thing is written. So initially, what I told you guys, this might be looking bit new to you all. Might have not seen such kind of structures previously. You don't have to worry. Sooner we start, better it is for us. Okay. in this whole architecture, every single thing is explained very, very perfectly. And then you have the quick start guide also. Now, in this quick start guide, you will see the complete prerequisites that are required over here. Okay, now see here. What we need, definitely Python is important, GitHub is important. So every single thing is written over here. Second thing, you will need to set up this complete Google Cloud setup, like how to do a Google Cloud setup, all the things that I will also show you now. Okay, you don't have to worry. Second thing, like this Google setup itself is like pretty huge, because there are multiple, resources you need to activate into that, how to create, how to, stop. Then there are $300 as a free credits that you get. Okay. For that, you just need to add your payment method over there. Okay. Nothing is chargeable. It's just like 2 rupees Indian rupees, right? So that will be charged. It's just $0.002, something like that will be charged. Okay, and for 90 days, nothing will be charged. It's completely zero. Okay, so now that is like a whole particular thing that we have, and the complete setup is written over here. Okay, guys. So I think we are pretty good to go, right? I mean, everyone at least have understood a basic understanding of it, like what exactly we are trying to do. Now, see here, this is where our whole NLP data pipeline is. Right now, in this particular pipeline, we have every single thing that is required. Now, first of all, let's try to discuss what is this config, what are the examples, what are, after examples, we will see what are the logs that we have. Then we'll see what are the SRC folders we have. Okay. We'll talk about every single folder that is being created over here. Now, see, it is expected that, you try to write this code into the VS Code. If you have VS Code, well and good. Okay. If your laptop supports VS Code, it's well and good. Always a plus point to, add to your resume. And, VS Code actually provides you with a very perfect, I would say, interface. Very easily you can just write the whole code very perfectly. You can see, right, the structures are written very clearly. Now, first of all, the first step that you need to do is, guys, see, go to terminal, create a new terminal over there. Okay, you will see that you will be redirected to whatever let's say whatever is your directory that you are into. You will be coming here. Second thing is, guys, you always need to create something called as virtual environment for every single project. Now, guys, understand what this virtual environment means. A virtual environment is, you can just understand this as, let's suppose, an example I'll take, let's suppose, let me just share my screen, right? So if I explain, like, in very simple terms, why virtual environment is required. Okay. So now let me share my screen. Okay. See, yes. You will just understand it, nothing. Okay. Where is screen sharing? Yeah. There might be some whiteboards here, no? Okay. Now, first of all, see, before going into the complete codes, let's understand every single part, why it is required. Okay. What exactly it is doing, why it was required. Okay. We'll just go one by one, and then we'll just try to see like how things are actually working. Now, see here, guys. First of all, when we talk about what exactly the virtual environment is, now see, just think in this particular way. Okay. Now, see, it is just like, now let's say you are working on a particular project. Okay. So what happens, every single project requires its own kind of, let's suppose you can say, every single project requires a different types of, let's say we can say packages, folders, or let's say, a certain kind of things. Let's say there is a certain project we are doing. Okay. So in that particular thing, let's say you might need a Django. Okay. Let's suppose for a project one, you might need, let's say Django 1.2.2, something like that. Or let's say project B might need, let's say, a Django 3.4.5, something like this. Means what? Every single project is created on a certain tools, or I would say, what some kind of certain parameters. Okay. So every single parameter uses, let's suppose some project is using Python 3.5, some project is using Python 3.7. Okay. So now what happens, whenever you create any kind of virtual environment, so it is just like what you are creating, you are creating an environment for that particular project, and every single thing related to that particular project will be stored into that environment. Means, see, if you don't create the virtual environment, means what will happen is you are simply storing every single thing into your local storage. And suppose you will be installing a lot of things, you'll be doing a lot of different stuff, right? You'll have requirement files. You will see now what requirement files are. So you will also try to store all those files into also the in your local only. So in simple terms, what virtual environment is just like a house protector. Okay. So inside that you will have the complete house. Means what? Let's say there is a bedroom, right? There are certain things we keep in the bedroom only. There is a kitchen, certain things we keep in the kitchen only, right? So in simple terms, what? There is some structure way to do a certain thing, right? So this is what exactly you call it as a virtual environment. Means you don't need to populate whatever is required for this particular project. That should remain inside this particular project only. Okay, so that is what exactly we call it as uh, something called as virtual environment. Okay, let's suppose now it is just like we say we won't mix. Let's say you won't use the shampoo on the toothbrush, right? You have to use the toothpaste only. You can just think in that particular way. Like we can't mix up the different packages on a different projects. If there is this particular project, we are creating a data pipeline. For this particular project, you will have the list of packages that has to be used with the same configurations. Then only you can use this particular thing. Okay, guys, am I audible to everyone? Hello, hello.
Yes, you are. Yeah.
Okay,
Yes, you are.
I just got scared. I mean, okay, just wait. I think this whiteboard is not working. Let me just open an inbuilt whiteboard if you have. We have a lot of inbuilt whiteboards also. Yeah, whiteboards are there. Okay, I hope the whiteboard is visible to everyone. Yes, okay. Okay, so I hope guys, you just understood like what exactly we talked about. So it is just like why exactly and how exactly this virtual env is required. Why this virtual environment is required means for a particular project you need to have the certain amount of packages which work only for that particular project. Some project might need, let's say, Python 3.5.2, something like this example. Some might need 3.7.2 because the whole project is built on this particular let's say environment. So we'll always need the same environment only over here. Okay, now is it visible, Sunita? Okay, fine. Okay, so therefore, what we say, this is why exactly the virtual environment is actually required for us. Okay, now see, in this particular whole project, you have seen that we have different files that are being given over here. Okay, you might have seen, there is like a source folder is there, and there is example folder is there. There are like multiple things which are already given in this particular thing. Okay, so what we'll do is, let's try to go one by one, and then we'll try to break it down into different formats. Now understand here, see. Yes, see. Okay. Now, first of all, now we have created this virtual environment, right? Now, let me explain you how to create this particular virtual environment at first. Now, let me see. Let me just scroll to Google Chrome. Okay. I hope the Chrome is visible to everyone. Now, see, in very simple terms, how do you do it? Let's say, okay, where is that? Yeah. Okay. Everyone's screen is visible. Wonderful. Okay. See here now. Simply how to create virtual environments in Python. As simple as that. Okay. You will just go here. Anywhere you can just check how to create it. Very simple. Few things are there. Okay. So first of all, what you need to do is, for Windows, there is some certain way. For Mac OS and your Linux, there is another way. Okay. So now here I'm using Mac OS. So there will be, I'll be using in some certain way to do it. Okay, you can just go through any one of them and you can just easily find it how to just create it. Very simple thing, nothing very difficult. So let's try to create our virtual environment first of all. Okay, so let's say is my screen visible now? Okay, yeah. Can you see the project now? Wonderful. Okay, now see it, guys. So what we did now, see, as of now, I already have this virtual environment already set up over here. Okay, I already have mine. So, but still, whenever we want to create the virtual environment, first of all, you need to pip install virtual env. Pip install virtual env. So what will happen is, as soon as you install the virtual environment, you will see, you will get that particular virtual environment in your, let's say, system. And then you need to do Python 3, let's say Python 3 I'm using, virtual environment minus MC. See? Okay, so usually you don't write the complete virtual env here. You just write, okay, Python 3 minus m v env. Now see, you will write complete virtual env in the Windows. Okay, here you will just write venv. VNV means what? Virtual environment, and whatever name you want to give to this particular VNV. You can give, let's say, NLP pipeline environment or something like that. But usually we just keep VNV only. That is also fine. VENV. See, like this. So as soon as you will run this, you will see this particular folder. And after that, once that is done, how you do is, let's say you go, let's say source VENV bin activate, and that's it. See here, virtual environment is activated now. Okay, so now inside this virtual environment, whatever packages will be there, every single thing will be showcased over here. Okay, every single thing will come over here. So now understand, guys. Okay, you never store this particular virtual environment on your GitHub. That is just for the safety reason. You don't store that. It is now, this is for your own system. Now, if you want to use this particular code, now you need to take this code, pull this code. Then again, you need to create your own virtual environment, and then eventually you will again do the pip install requirement.txt like this. Okay, that is how exactly this works. Right now, what I did, this virtual environment is now activated for me. Okay, so now once the virtual environment is activated, right now, what you need to do, first of all, you can see that we have this requirement.txt file. So I have just created requirement simple.txt as of now, because see, we have a lot of different things that are required. I would like to share this whiteboard. Oh, okay. We have this in bold whiteboard, which is pretty good actually. Okay. Though we can definitely, think about it. I'll just open it, okay? Okay, now see here, guys. Now, as of now, I have kept the requirements very simple, because we are not going in like extremely difficulty of any kind of thing. Extremely difficulty means what? Nothing very different. Let's suppose instead of having 4 packages, you will be adding all the different packages which are required in every single project. So for now, our idea is not to go in that particular part, because see, whatever is required, we already have the setup. Now request we have installed. Why requests are required now, guys? Request will handle all the API responses. Means, let's say whatever kind of APIs you will get, all those APIs request will be handled by request module. You have Beautiful Soup. So Beautiful Soup is a library that is used for the scraping the data, right? Scraping the data. Python.env, just like, just to create the environments into the Python, you need this particular thing. And then you need Google Cloud Storage. It's just like, we are now using Google Cloud Storage to store this complete data. Then second setup is there where, we are trying to store this whole data into the local system only, right? So both the ways are there. How to do that? That is also given over here. Okay, so that also we are doing. So now, this Google Cloud Storage is also there. That also we'll try to see. So these are the 4 things I'll require. So how we do is, let's say pip3, or you can pip install -r requirements.txt. Okay, now see here, guys. So eventually, as soon as you will do this, all the different things that are required for this virtual environment will be collected and downloaded here successfully. So means in general, what you're doing, guys, instead of doing one by one, okay, let's suppose you run the code and you got an error. Okay, yeah, you don't have the request module in your own environment. You might get this error. So why to get such kind of error every single time and do, okay, pip install request, pip install beautiful soup, pip install python.env. You don't have to do that. So for that, we have the requirements.txt. Simply, you can just take the data and at a one time, whatever requirement files are there will be stored into your system. Now, yes, please.
So everything we're doing right now is in the dev environment, correct?
Sorry?
Is this in the development environment?
I mean, that doesn't matter, right? Which environment it is.
I mean, because sometimes depending on which environment you're going to be working on will determine what you put in the request, because some environment need more configuration than others.
I see. First of all, those configurations are mostly required into the product development. Okay. No one is gonna give at this particular stage. You are not even allowed to touch the development branches and the prod branches. Okay. So those branches have this different files. They have the whole complete Docker setups. They have the complete YML setups. They have the whole production setups where code is running into the production. So you will be limited to your own structure only. Let's say you will have your own repo, and in that repo only you will be pushing your code. You will be raising the pull request, then someone will review that particular thing, and then only will be given approval to do the next part. Okay, so you don't have to think about the security configurations that you are, let's say, whatever you are saying, that is not required. But even for that also, those things won't go out of the scope of the project, right? But as of now, let's say we need this particular thing, so we are just dealing with this one. Just need this one, so we are just in here. Okay. Now, let's say we have now installed now CKs. This is the requirement txt that we installed. Now we have taken let's say PDF also. Why? Because see, data can come into the PDF form also. So we need to extract that particular data and store that also. So that also we need. We have also used the Google ka BigQuery. So now Google BigQuery now again is like a pretty huge topic, right? If anyone is interested, you can feel free to do it by yourself. It is just like whenever you have the data to store into the Google, okay, so then Google BigQuery will try to help you store that data in a certain way. Okay, there are some kind of different project structure that you need to create to store this particular data. But as of now, I would suggest not to go in details about this. Okay, we are not doing this also. We are not using BigQuery. Just for the requirements, I've just kept it. We are simply using cloud storage and we are directly passing the data over there. Okay, so now guys, this is the requirement file that we have. Now we can see our environment file is set up. Every single thing is set up. Now we can definitely move forward and understand the next part of it. Right? Now understand here. See, now, okay. Now we have different, we can say folders that are being created over here. You can see config file is created. You can see example file is created. You can see, sorry, folders are created. You can see log folders are created. Okay. And so as of now, logs are just like, just to monitor the data. I'll tell you each one of them what it exactly does. We have the SRC folders. Okay. Now see here. First of all, let's try to go in details to understand. Okay, fine. Okay. Now let's try to understand how exactly every single thing flows into this particular setup. Okay. Now see, first of all, we will start with understanding all these different files that are required. Means what? Let's say why these files are required, what exactly these files are basically doing, right? So what I'll do, say, just a second. Okay, someone has a doubt. Just a second. Okay, now my whiteboard is visible to everyone?
Not yet.
Okay, noted. Just a second. This is in VS Code or in virtual environment setup. See, we are doing everything in a VS Code. Okay, but virtual environment is not limited to VS Code or anything. Virtual environment is only for the project. See, VS Code is just like a, you can say, software where we are writing the code. You write the code in, whether you write the code in simple terminal, that is also fine. You write the codes in simple Jupyter notebook, that is also fine. Every single where you can create these particular things. Okay, so you don't have to, let's say, worry about it and think, okay, let's say where exactly it is. So you understood this, where basically the code is into where? Yes, exactly. Okay, so code is written in, yeah, it is written in VS Code, but it is not written, it is running inside the virtual environment. Okay, so virtual environment is, guys, just like, let's say, means what, we want to limit the scope. Means we want to limit the scope of this particular project only to this particular, let's say, project only. we don't want that project to be exposed completely into our system. Okay, so that is only reason we are just let's say creating the proper virtual environment. Now guys, understand, let's try to talk one by one about every single thing that is being given over here. Now see, now if you just go to let's say if you just go over here, where is that? Yeah, okay. Now let's suppose if you just go to here architecture diagram here, project structure here. I'll moreover go into architecture. Okay. Now, guys, first of all, understand. Oh, not here also. Maybe some simpler one I have created. Yeah, hands-on guide. Okay. Now, see here, guys. So, this whole particular project that we have built, right?
Is this a screen? Sorry for interruption. Is this a screen for in a VS Code?
Yes, yes. This is the VS Code. Okay. So
Okay.
we have downloaded the VS Code. We have stored the VS Code, and from the VS,
Okay.
what we do, we just open the folder. Let's say wherever the data is stored or the code is.
Hmm.
What we do, we just take that particular data and we store it there.
Okay.
Okay.
In terminal, we just go and just like whatever you set the command file. Yes, am I right?
Yeah, yeah. So, keep using these commands means eventually you will understand like, what things are basically required. Like as you go in more and more details about it, you will understand like, how things are actually working here. So,
So are you going to show us more on how, like that I see architecture MD, have you shown that yet or you coming to that? The architecture MD, how the architecture structure design looks, because I've done an interview once and I said, okay, if you're a data engineer, design the data architecture for a certain shop store, a certain small business, what do you call it, e-commerce website.
mhm.
So
That is where we are going.
I try to design stuff based on my AWS background, but still I miss some stuff. I want to like know how to know the actual things to always include and things not to include in the architecture design.
See, that is what exactly we are doing. Okay. That is what I have written in very, very details. Now, just I'll show it to you here also. Now, see here. Now, see here, guys. Now, these are the key components which are, sorry, yes. Hello.
Yeah. Can you please navigate to this project structure, like how to go to this window?
How to go to this window as in?
I mean, in my Visual Studio, when I open, uh, I get the normal welcome
Okay,
window
see
and
here. See here. I'll just show you. Okay, let's say I'll create a file. Let's suppose,
आपल्याला वेगवेगळं क्रिएट करायला लागतं काय मंदासारखा प्रश्न करताय
guys, please mute yourself here. Please, please. Okay, now see here. Let's suppose now if I'll show you a new window. Let's say what you do is you might be seeing this structure. Yes.
It's on the other screen. Can you move it to the screen? We can see the new window.
Can't see the new window. How it is possible?
I'm
Yeah.
seeing the blank window, and it's showing start new file, open folder,
Yeah, so
something like.
that is what exactly I'm showing, right? Okay.
No, but your window is visible as project structure only. I think the one which
Okay.
you opened, it's not showing.
Okay. Let me just share that. And now,
Yes, right. It's not
okay. Now
visible.
see, you all might be seeing this particular thing.
Yes, yes.
Okay. When you open, see, now you have the different options. Either you can directly clone the repository, right? So you can just give any git a repository URL and you can directly store it here. So that is also one thing I'll tell you how to do it. Second thing is, you try to open the folder over here. So directly open here. Now let's suppose you can go to, let's say, anything. Let's suppose you can create the folder. Let's say whatever you will have like this. So maybe let's suppose now I want to store everything into the, let's say, downloads. Okay. And in the downloads, let's suppose now I have this. I created one folder called as this one. Let's say, not where is that? Yeah, I created this folder called as production grade level use case.
Saurabh, your screen got frozen. I think it's not visible.
Okay, I think I need to share the whole screen only. Then only it will happen. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, maybe whenever you're opening something new pop-up, it's not visible.
Okay, now see, now it's fine.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, now see, if you just open this folder, now you can see this now.
Yes, right.
Okay, now see, sorry. Now see here. What I did now, let's suppose you can just choose your own folder. Let's say wherever you want to store this particular data. Let's suppose now I have my own project store. Let's suppose I have stored in downloads. And this is where, let's say production level use case. This is where I have stored my whole project. All you need to do is, just create a folder and just open it. So as soon as you will open it, you will directly redirect it to this particular folder. Okay. Let's suppose now maybe I can just show it one. Say, that's what I'll do is let's suppose now on a desktop. It's a desktop I'll do. I'll just create a new folder called, let's say, sample project folder. Okay. I'll create it and I'll open it. Yes, I trust the authors. So can you see now this folder is created?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now
Yes.
inside this, now you can just create the whole structure you want. Let's suppose you can first of all create some files, src folder. Okay. Then again, you can create some kind of, let's say, test folder. Okay. Now inside, let's suppose src you want to store, let's say, base.py. You can just create like this. Now you can write the code here. Okay. And from here now, how you should do? Go to terminal. Okay. Now let's suppose I'll create here. Let's say Python 3 v minus m env. And let's suppose I am to give, let's say, my env. Okay. See here, your virtual environment is created here, my env. Okay. Simply source my env bin bin. Just press the tab. Okay. Right B, press the tab bin and activate AC tab. See here, activated. At the same time, you will have, if you're using Windows, you will have lib slash scripts slash activate. Okay. So means what? You have two different ways to do it. Right. So if you do it in this particular way, you will have to write like this. And if you write in that particular way, you need to do that. So now you understood how you created this?
Yeah, okay.
We created, now we'll be creating simple files. As you need the structure, you will be keep on creating these files. Wonderful. I hope now this is pretty clear to everyone, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we'll practice after the session.
Yeah, sure. Cut this. No, I don't want this. Okay, now this is visible, everyone? Product structure is visible?
Yes.
Okay, now understand, guys. See, whenever we talk about the project structure, right? So this src folder you can see. So this src folder contains the core source code. Core source code. Then when you talk about these config files, have the complete configuration files. Means what? Your env files, your, simple password, setting files, every single thing is there. Okay. Then you have the example file. Let's say an example implementation. Whatever source files that you have created, from that source files, you will see an example implementation. Then you have the local storage data. You have the documentation over here. Then you have the base classes over here. Now let's go one by one in details about it. Now see, let's suppose now if I go into the config file. Okay, now as of now, this is not required. Let's suppose now go to the src folder. Okay. Now when you go into this src, right? Okay, inside the storage. Okay, where do you have stored? Yeah, this is where we have stored. Okay, local GCS and local we have stored. Okay, storage is there, collection is here, APIs are here. Okay, fine. Now see here, guys. Now you will see that there is a collectors folder we created. Now see, what are the different ways we are scraping the data? We are getting the data from APIs. We are getting the data from directly file PDFs, and we are getting the data from web scraper directly. Okay, now if I go to now news API as a collector, okay, so now here you will see that this is called as base class that you create for any kind of project. This is called as base class that you create for any kind of project. Means what? Let's suppose, in very simple terms, if I now explain, let's suppose, see here, this particular thing that you see, right? Let's say base class is there. So this is like the whole main architecture is written for this particular whole data extraction. Means let us suppose now this is like a collection for the news API service. So what this class is doing now, this class is completely designed to extract the data from the news only. This whole class is written for the same only. Okay, so what it is doing now, First of all, we'll need an API key. Now see here, to get the news API key, so what we are doing is, we are getting the, see, this collector fetches the news article from the news API service. Now see, you can use anything. You can go anywhere. Let's suppose now I'm taking it from news API service. So what I will do, let's suppose now again, I'll go to my cloud. Let me just open my Windows again. Okay, let's say, okay, first of all, is my Windows visible? I've shared the complete screen only. Yes, everyone?
Yes, visible.
Okay. Now see here. What I'm doing is news API.
But only the top side header is visible.
First, sorry.
It's not visible. Full screen is not visible.
Oh, is it? Oh my, what's happening, sir?
Only ribbon is visible, like alt tab,
Okay, okay.
and
I got it. I got it. What's happening? Wait. Oh, I think I need to go to the next. Don't worry about it. Okay. Hide this completely. Wait. Now it is visible. See, I'm just scrolling all the screens. It is not visible. How it is possible? Now it's fine, everyone.
It's fine now.
Okay, now see here. So what we are doing now, first of all, you will just go to this particular URL called as news.api. Okay, okay, just wait. I just need to go into news API. Okay, so go to this news API. Let's say news API. Okay, so you will just see, okay, news API is there. Means what? See, guys, now you can scrape the data from anywhere. Okay, so it is not only news API. So what you can do is, this is just like a place where you will get maximum amount of news over here. So as our task is to extract the news API, so we just thought, why not to extract from this particular data source? So we just gone here. Why this side can't be reached? Guys, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, audible.
Yeah, I
yes,
don't.
we are.
Okay. No. Oh my God, that's ruthless. Okay, wait. Let me just come here and share my. Okay, now this is visible. Okay, now see here. We have our Google. I'll just store it on the Chrome only. Let me just open the Chrome. Okay, see here now. Now see here. If you just go here, I think the site is down. Might be some issues. Okay, but see, understand what is there. So usually, as soon as you will click it, they will just redirect you to the, let's say, API page. Okay, you just simply need to sign in. As soon as you will sign in there, you will get the API key from there. Okay, as soon as you will get the API key, what you will do is, it's, I think all the sites are not working. I don't know why. News API. I think this site is pretty down. Okay.
It's opening for me. News API.ai is opening.
Opening, right? So you can see the interface properly. Okay.
Yes, yes.
I'll just share this thing with you. You can just opening this news API and see, I have already given that into the code also, like in that documentation. So from there also we'll get it, but still, like, just thought maybe could have given the better view of it. Okay. Now see, as soon as we are getting this, so what we are doing, see guys, now in the any kind of let's say project structure, we have something called as .env file. .env file. So you'll see that, guys, in this particular .env, you will have all the credentials of the projects that are stored. You will see that, Google Cloud application credentials are there, project IDs are there, bucket name is there, API is there. You will see this API is there, news data path is there, PDF storage path is there, log levels are there. So that is fine. You don't need to worry about this whole structure. It's fine. Means what, guys? See, now let's suppose if you are trying to connect your data, or let's say if you are trying to connect your whole project to a database, right? Let's suppose you are trying to connect with the SQL database, or let's say a MongoDB or anything. You will need all these particular things. Definitely, you will need a database password, data username, on what port it is using, on what host it is running, right? You will need all these particular things. All these particular things will be stored at one place. Let's suppose now you are now see here we are dealing with Google Cloud now. So Google Cloud connection, whenever you want to go, connect with the Google Cloud services, to store your data, they will ask you for, or you will need to provide all these particular things, to your project. So you will need to, give them, okay, which kind of bucket you are storing into. You need to give which kind of project ID that you have created, what kind of application that you are using, Okay, so this all JSON files will be downloaded automatically. Okay, so once we start discussing about the storage part, I'll explain you how this whole thing is actually working. Okay, so don't worry about that. So I hope you are understanding this particular part. Means what is the idea, guys, behind this? Now just understand. Let's suppose now you are into this log files just now we had. Let's say okay, now let's suppose these are there. Now here you will see that in this particular code, they're asking you to give the API key. Definitely till the time you will not pass the API key, you will not be able to fetch the data, right? So now understand, it is we never directly keep the API key inside our, let's say we never keep the API key directly in our project folder. Okay, we'll never keep the API key directly over here. So what we do is, we just try to import the API key over here. We try to import the API key. Now see, we have the .env created over here. So now here you will see that from base, we have the base collector. Let me just go to the base collector first. Let me just go to the base collector. Okay, just wait. Let me not clickable also. See here now, guys. Now what we did here, now this is the base collector that we have. So what this base collector is basically doing, it is an abstract base class that will collect all the data from different resources. Means what you will see that you are here, you are collecting a data over here, you are validating a data over here, and then you are pre-processing the data over here. Okay, and after that, then you are collecting all the data in together, and in one process you are directly sending this whole data to the, let's say, whatever thing you are doing, like either you are sending that to the Google Cloud, or either you are trying to store, send that data to the, let's say, store it in your own local system, right? So in simple terms, whatever this base collector that you can see, that is the one main thing that is created, that is the base. Every single thing is already written over here. This is the whole main method that is being written over here. Now, if you go to this particular news scraper again, let's suppose news scraper is there. We are trying to scrape the news from here now. Just a second. Where is our ANV files used? Just a second. Yeah, now see here. So now what we are doing here, we are getting the API key. So now that is already stored into the ENV file. Okay. Now again, we'll also need a news API that is also written, right? Now see, eventually as soon as we start here, you will see that self.api key equal to API key. Means what we are doing, we are directly, see, we are not directly passing the API key over here, because understand, we cannot expose our password to anyone, right? We cannot expose the password to anyone. So therefore, what we did, we have just taken just an API key. We are just trying to access directly from here. So now see, now this structure is also not like an all, not a full-fledged structure, because I have just tried to keep it more simple as possible. Now see, in usually, whenever you will create the ENV files, right, you will always have a setting files over here. Okay, you will always have a settings files over here. So what the setting files will do, it will first of all try to, let's say, okay, let me first of all create a setting file, right? Let me just show you how we do it. Let's suppose create, say, okay. Okay, now see here, guys. So what we'll do, first of all, let's try to create a settings file here. Now see, let me first of all tell you what this setting file means. Whatever, let's suppose whatever, passwords you have, whatever kind of things that you are stored as a secret keys. Okay, so all those particular secret keys will always be there inside the env file. So then what you do, from that particular env file, you try to get every single thing into the settings file. So what that setting file is doing, setting file is directly accessing your env file with the function called as something called as load.env. So whatever this env that we have created, so that env function is called as load.env. So what that load.env basically will do, whatever files and or whatever passwords, configurations, and whatever things are written or present inside that particular env file, that will be directly accessed, inside your settings file. Okay, so let's say, just give me a command. Let me just allow me a second. Okay, what I'll do is, we already have that created, so I'll just show you how that particular thing is written over here. So what I'll do,
Screen is still on the same page, right?
yeah, we are there only. I'm not done. So my whole screen is visible now. I have shared the complete screen only. So wherever we'll go, you will see where we are going. Okay. So till now, see guys, before that is being done. So till that time, understand here. So what we did now, see in the production, what we do, we just create the different classes. Now, once this news API collector class is, let's say written, after this, you don't need to write the class. You will simply pass the URLs and get the data from there. Pass the URL, get the data. Pass the URL, get the data. Pass the URL, get the data. Okay. Let's suppose now we have now news API. Let's suppose now tomorrow you thought, okay, you need to take the data from maybe some third party, let's say website. Okay. Let's say you need to create it from maybe some third party, another API. So only the API URL will change, nothing else will change. Okay. Now see, first of all, what we did now, we need an API name. We need a name of this particular thing. Let's say news API, whatever it is. And optional, this is optional. You don't need to worry about it as of now. See here. Now see here. Always have the habit of writing the proper F strings of this particular project or whatever function you will write. What this is doing, okay, initializing the news API collector. Then what are the arguments it is passing? We have like an API argument, API key argument, name argument, and config argument. Okay, so API key will give the news and authentication to API key. Name is like a collector name. Let's say whatever you will be collecting, wherever you are storing that, and config is just like an additional file. Now what you are doing is, let's say, first of all, let me show you. Here you are writing another method called as def collect data. Now understand. Here you will pass very specifically whatever data you want to scrape that particular from the API. Now here what we are written clearly from this news article, what is being told to me, I need to extract the keywords. That's the list of the keywords that we are searched for. Let's suppose from start date till the end date. See, keywords are there. That is the list. Means what in a list you can pass the whole number of keywords, whatever you need to search. Let's suppose you need specifically data about, let's say, sports, let's say Bollywood or Hollywood, or let's say then let's say politics. So let's say you are giving a keywords over here. From date means what? From which date till which date you want to scrape the data. That is to date and this one. Then what language you want to get in? Let's say you want to get it from English, Hindi, whatever you want to do, you can do that. Then sort by means what? You have the option to specifically sort that particular data. So means what? We are sorting by using publish stat. So in that particular API, you have something called as publish stat, means when it is published, recently published, published by whom. So there are multiple ways, you can just scrape the data. And what is the page size? So I want to, extract number of articles per request should be 100. Number of articles that I want to scrape per request should be 100. Okay, means what, guys? See, now let's suppose if you might have written a simple code like this. Let's suppose my example, if I show you, let's say news API example. So here what we are doing, we are simply writing the function. Okay, def this one. See here what we did here, from .env load .env. Okay, so OS function is there. So this .env function you can see, right? And from here we are importing the load .env. Means what? Whatever env file that we created .env is now coming over here now. Now you can access over here. So what we are doing now, simply, this is like a simple example. Okay, now this is like not a production level code. This is a simple example. What I did, def get the news. So therefore understand here, guys, for your simple understanding, I have separately created this example folders where all the different examples are written. Easily you can understand examples are written. Then we have created the proper structure over here where you will understand in the production how we write it. We create the base class first, and from that base class, with the help of these YML files that I will show you, from there we are extracting the data now. Now here it is how simple it is. What you did, def get the news, a simple function to get the news from API. Guys, first of all, everyone, do not, okay, first of all, guys, this is a simple thing to everyone. Are you all understanding? Everyone? Input from everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, right?
Yes.
Everyone, right? Great. See here, even if you think, okay, this is might not making sense right now too much, don't worry, guys. As I told you, this particular documents that are there now, they are explained in such a simple way. I have written them in so simple way that very easily you will understand the complete flow of it. And guys, one thing understand, once you understand the flow of one particular project, you are on a fire. You are perfectly good to go. Means you will understand the complete understanding of how to write the production level codes. Okay, so now understand what I did here. Simply written a function def get news. What it is doing, a simple function to get the news from the news API. Now, what is the first step that we are doing? Loading the API key from .env. So how you do it? You simply write something called as load.env. As soon as you write this particular function over here, load.env, the env is now being loaded over here. So how we dot? let's say API key equal to os.getEnv news API key. os.getEnv, and what I need now, what is the name that I have stored? News API key. Okay, so now that will be stored over here. Why am I not getting multiple yesterday? Then what I did now, second thing, I have stored the URL over here. Okay, this is the URL I want to scrape the data from. And what are the parameters I want to store? Let's suppose I want to store the country as US and API key equal to API key. And simply what you do, response equal to request.get. Now this is the get URL. Get means what? We only want to take the data from there. Post means what? We want to send the data over there. So when is the post method we use? When we want to send the data. Get means what? You are allowed to only get the data from there. You can't make the changes over there. So what you're doing now, what I'm saying, hey response, hey request model, you are the main thing you are helping me. Now get the URL from this particular request model, something called as this URL that I have passed over here. Get it from this URL and params equal to params. These are the parameters you pass it there. And that's it, guys. Okay, that's it. You are getting the data over here. And here simply you are writing now which format you want. Okay, I want format in title should be there. Description should be there. This is the URL should be there. Published, when published, collected, and when collected. Okay, and print. Okay, this is the data that I have found. And finally, once I get that particular data, okay, that's fine now. See, till here now you scrape the data completely, but you need to save that particular data, right? So what I'm doing is now, as soon as I'm printing the data, I'm saving that file. So what I'm doing, I'm simply creating one simple JSON file in a write mode. In the write mode. And write means what? Okay, whatever data is coming, simply create a, let's say something called as with open news API results.json with write file as F, and simply JSON.dump that particular complete formatted articles here, formatted articles over here. And that's it, guys. That's it. Print done. Check the news API results.json for the results. Yeah, every single thing is stored over here. And by chance, if you get the error, you will have the else thing. Okay, error, response.status code, and this is the status code you have. Now, guys, see, whatever thing is now here we have written, now it is limited to this particular URL over here. And guys, understand, in the productions, we never ever simply write the functions like this. The reason is that when the code goes into the production, there are very, very high chances for that particular code to break completely if you simply write the functions. So it is always suggested, write the codes into the proper classes, and then inside that classes, you will have the different functions. Okay, so whatever things I have written over here, okay, so yeah, settings I have also, that's what I told you, I have created somewhere. See here now, how these settings can be used over here. So a very simple things I'm doing. Okay, data pipeline settings, importing the settings. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I'll show you how things are actually working. Okay, it is nothing. The way we have loaded the env, simply we'll load the env from the settings file. Nothing else. It's as simple as that. Again, I'm gonna show you how to do that, but that's fine. Okay, so guys, this is how exactly you are scraping the data from a particular API. That is the example of it. Similarly, we'll see that, let's say how to scrape the data from, let's say, scrape and store. Let's suppose now you're trying to scrape the data from somewhere. Okay. Here you're using the scraper, beautiful soup. Then you are using scraping the data from, let's say, some kind of URL directly over here. See here, you're directly scraping using some beautiful soup or something. Okay. So you can save it like that also. Okay. Sim guide. So therefore, what I told you, every single thing is given over here. So I will be explaining you how we are doing it on a higher level. You can always go and check these particular examples that we have taken. Okay, now we are into the collectors. So collectors is fine. Story, okay, story. See, in the collectors, what we have now. See here. So that's why what I told you now, guys. See, whatever example that you did, what you did, very simple thing. You gone to the project examples and simply created .py file. That's it. But that is not how it works. In the production, see guys, now how we have created the structure, proper structure. Collections are there, collectors are there, means data collectors are there. So what are the different folders, or let's say ways you are creating the data? API you are creating, files you are creating, and webs you are creating, scraping the data. Now, if I go to the API now, you will see you have the whole collector over it. Okay. Now, I hope now you understood this simple part, right? How exactly we are doing, and what are the different ways we are creating this particular thing. Okay, wonderful. Now see here. Now, once that is done, right? Yeah, settings files are exactly used in the same way only. Oh, that's great. You know what? That's wonderful. I mean, no big deal. Whether you create or directly get it, load the env and take the data. I mean, that's the same thing only, but it is more secured. Okay, when you have a settings file, it's more secured. As the time will come, we will have the more proper structures. I'll show you. Okay, how to create the setting files also. then how to import that, every single thing will be doing. Okay, now see, now once this news API collector, you can see it's been done. Now what we are doing here now, instead of simply writing a simple function, now what we created a proper class over here, news API collector. And here, this is the base collector that we have created. Now see, what we are doing now, we are using this base collector over here. Now, I don't know why this is not clickable to me. Just a second. Yeah, I hope I'm visible, right? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So now let me show you. This base collector is from base out. So it's somewhere over here. Base collector where we are stored. Oh yeah, we have the settings file over here, right? See here. Now see here, guys. I'll just explain in simple terms what this settings file is. What now see in that simple example file you might have seen, right? We had a OS environment and load env also. Both the things we had, right? So here we are doing the exact same thing. But the only good thing about setting files is, we actually try to create the base directories like this. Means what? We'll try to create the different paths over here. Okay, local storage path we are storing here. Okay, then we are trying to store log file paths over here. So different file paths will be stored very properly over here. Now, what we are doing, here we are properly creating a class of this particular settings. And in that, what we are saying, okay, setting class manages all the configurations, uses the environment variables and YML file configurations over here. Now, what these YML files are, configurations are, don't worry about it. So simply what we did now, we initialized then an init file. Here now we have .env. We are getting .env processing mode development. Now this is all the complete development structure that we have written over here. Okay, here you will see that every single file is being taken. See here, get env is been taken, log file path is being taken. So in simple terms, whatever data here, let's suppose now for another storing all the API keys, now we have created another function. Means what? News API, os.getEnv news API. So now when I'll be using this particular thing, I don't directly need to use this particular thing into my environment in my code. I will directly use this function called as API keys and dot news API. That's it. That's the only thing I'll use. Okay, then I have a separate database properties. Okay, where I have database, host names are there, port names are there, names are there, user is there, password is there, every single thing is written over there. Similarly, for the cloud storage also, whatever things are written, that is there. For scraper, whatever is required, all the scrapers are there, what kind of agent you are using, everything. For processing is there, rate limits, okay, that's fine now, like multiple things are there. Okay, so this is how you create the setting files. Guys, understand, in today only you don't need to understand everything, just understand the structure for today. Okay, don't go in details about anything like this. We will be doing this for almost every single kind of project we'll be doing. Like for, let's say now this is like just data pipeline. Now we'll be creating a similar data pre-processing pipeline also, exactly same, using different functions. Now again we'll be creating a, let's say model building pipelines also. We'll be building multiple pipelines like this one. Okay, so there will be like more than 20-30 pipelines you will have like this. Okay, and once you have it, you have everything on GitHub. Okay, so for now, the only thing we need to understand is how to explain all these particular things. Okay, doesn't matter whether you know to how to write the code from scratch only. In the industries, guys, whoever are working, they might know. We work regularly, we know. All these things eventually happen. You understand how to do it eventually. But as far as you know how to explain the architecture for getting into the industry, that is very big deal. Apart from that, you can very easily handle. You can just say, okay, ask a GPT to okay, create the whole structure for it. But what you need to know now, you just need to know the structure of your project. Okay, I have the directories. Okay, inside this, I also have the logging files are there. Then I have API keys. Then I have the database setup. Then I have a storage setup. I have a scraper setup. Like this setup is there, and create an environment file. Sorry, setting file for me. It will create the exact same file for you. Okay, so it is just like very easy and handy to use. So there is nothing very difficult to understand into this particular part. Right now, once we have understood and got this particular things right now, see here. Okay, now okay, examples fine. Now this is a new API character, right? Okay, I was about to show you this base collector, right? This is a cloud database, HSQL database based storage is there. But it's not clickable. Yeah, I think it's gonna have somewhere. Just a sec. Yeah, okay, that's fine. See here now. So now what exactly this news API collector is doing, this news API collector is trying to collect the data from all the different news APIs. Okay, see, this collector fetches news article from the news API service. So what we created is here, now we have created a news API as a one class. So now next time, all you need to do is, simply call this class and simply pass the, URL that you have, and it will extract everything for you. That structure is stored into the YML file. I'll show you how that is. Okay. Then we have created all these things that are required to me. Okay, and then eventually you will see that all these things are stored. I'll need API key, base URL, and logger files. Now what these loggers are there, you can just understand. Logger files are just used for the logging purpose. Means what? Okay, in very simple terms, let's say, how can I explain this logger files to you? See, in simple terms, when you talk about these logger files, right, it's a self.logger that you see, logger.get logger. So these logger files are used for mostly, let's suppose, in very simple terms, how can I explain this? Okay, let me just think of it. Okay, now see, imagine this. Let's suppose now, imagine, let's say you are into the particular project. Okay, and whenever you want to understand what exactly went wrong, okay, means what? See, so what we can do is here, let's suppose now I want to do some kind of print statement over it. We can do that also, right? But instead of print statement, what we do, we try to use the loggers over here. So what exactly the loggers will do, loggers will exactly show you what kind of error came and from which particular file came. Okay, so see, it's very easy to debug your code. It will give you the very perfect warnings. It will give you the very high level things. It will handle very high level things like errors will be given, shown to you very properly. Warnings will be given very, very properly. Debugging is done very, very properly, right? Means it will show very clearly, okay, what is the problem that you have. So instead of logger, you can also simply use the simple print functions also. Like, okay, print it here, what's happening, let's check it. Just like we debug using print statements, right? You can do that also. Okay, so it is just like, logger will try to help you debug your things later. Very easily you can do that. So therefore we are using the loggers over here. Now we are collecting the data. We are collecting the data from different resources, whatever things we need. I have already told you what we need. Okay, so this is the date that we are trying. Now understand, guys, here. Maximum times, whenever we write the codes in the production, we always try to write the codes in the try except block. Try except block. Okay, the main reason to write the codes into the try except block are because we specifically need to understand what kind of error is coming from that particular data, because we don't want those nasty errors to come. Okay, so just to handle the errors very, very properly, we use this try except block. So you will always, everywhere you'll see try except blocks are written over here. Your work is whatever things I'm teaching you, whatever things you're not aware about, start learning about that. You might not know about try except blocks. Go to the Python, understand how to write try except blocks. You don't know about how to write the classes, go understand how to write the classes. Okay, because it's been very long. I'm telling to everyone. I think many of you are learning with me for more than a year now, and before I think, yeah. So when I was teaching you Python at that time also, I told you how important it is to understand and how important it is to know about the Python, because Python is the only thing that will lead you to whole new level. When you understand how to, now see, in today's world, now you don't even need to write the code from scratch, right? All you need to do is just have the proper prompt thinking. You should just know, okay, how to think about a certain problem and give that particular thing over there. You will get the response out of it. Okay, so see here, now we are getting the response out of these articles, and we are simply transforming these articles, let's say articles to some particular place. Okay, and if this will not happen, we are just using some kind of error over it. Now here, what we are doing now, here we are making a request. Means make a HTTP request to the news API. Now you have the endpoint that is being given, query parameters are given, and number of retry attempts that is being given, that is 100, that is being already given to you. Now what we are doing here, now see here, we are passing an URL, fstring cell.base URL and the endpoint that is there. So what we are doing now, for attempts in a range of retries, whatever retries that is being told to you, try to get the response. And if the response will not happen, then try to, let's say, throw some kind of error from it. Okay, in simple terms, it is just handling the complete one. See, inside one simple class, you always try to write the different methods. You will see in the news collector, you will have different methods. First method is to collect the data. Okay, second method is to make the request. See, you collect the data, you will make the request. Collect the data means what? You need to know, right, what kind of data you want. Just now I shown you in the example. Okay, I need, from which date to which date, what kind of data is required, what kind of format is required, everything is there. Now I will need a def request. I am making a request over here. Second thing, I'm transforming the articles now. Let's say from these articles, okay, title is required, content is required, this is required, and append every single thing into this transform, let's say thing that I have written. Now, once that is done, then I need to get the headlines like country, category, and page size is being one. And finally, what we are doing after this, finally, we are just trying to store this whole complete data into this particular part. Okay, that's fine now. See, so in here, what we are doing now, till in this whole complete pipeline, what happened now? We got the data, like collect the data, what kind of things we need. Second thing, we saw, let's say what is how to make a request. We made the request. Then we transform the article and we stored all that particular data. We got means what till here now we have got all the data that is required to you. Okay, so you can see this API collector. Similarly, REST collector is there. Exactly same thing it will do. It will just instead of let's say API collector, now you will just get the REST API endpoints. Means what? It's just like an API only. Okay, you can just get the data from there also. Now that is just from the APIs. Now if you go to the files over here, you will see that you have the PDF collector over here. Now for this PDF collector, now what we did, I think I don't know why it is not clickable. I'm not sure why this is not working. Okay, now see here. Another class that we created, that is PDF collector class. Now what this class is doing now, this class is specifically collecting the data only from the PDFs only. So what it is doing now, first of all, it is where is okay, so yeah, see, first of all, it is downloading the PDF. Okay, so wherever you will have the PDF stored, that is fine. If you have the already have the PDF stored into your environment, so you don't need to use this. You don't have to use this. Then what you are doing, we are writing another function to extract the text. We are extracting the text using pipdf, pipdf.pydata. Okay, then we are extracting the data, and then eventually, we are we into the same thing? Okay, let me just say cd. Let's say, okay, cd NLP data pipeline. Okay, I think it should be fine. Okay, now see here. So what we did now, we are just trying to extract this whole data. Okay, so let's say first of all, we are trying to get number of pages, then authors, whatever are there, what kind of titles are there, when it is created, means whatever things are present in the PDF. Eventually, as soon as we got this particular thing, then we are downloading the PDF, extracting the metadata, and packaging all the results in together. Okay, so in simple terms, guys, what exactly is happening over here in this whole PDF thing? We are trying to get the data from somewhere, means from the PDF. Now this is like PDF way to get the data. Okay, you will see a lot of different things are there, right? You are storing that PDF somewhere. Okay, somewhere you are storing it in the, okay, you are storing directly into the GCA bucket over here. Okay, you can store there also into the local also, anything you can do, right? So guys, this is how exactly the collectors actually work. You will see all the collectors are there. Similarly, web scraping is there. Now again, very simple, right? You are just using beautiful soup over here. Same news scraper you will create. Similarly, now you will just use, you will be using scraper somewhere. Fetch the data. First of all, you will make a request. If the response is 200, then you will extract the data from here using beautiful soup. Okay. So whatever things you need, okay, from now see, when you extract that particular data from beautiful soup, you get the HTML tags. And from that HTML tags, you specifically need to mention, okay, what kind of things are required. Okay, I need a title, right? Or maybe I need a content, then I need a date, I need an author. So you need to specifically mention what are the things you need to install, extract from that. Okay. This is how exactly we create it. Now, finally, we have the collect function and we are collecting the complete data at one particular place. Right, guys? So, this is how exactly the collectors actually work. Means these are the different ways we are collecting the particular data that we have. Okay. Now, if we comes into the storage part. Okay, we have the local storage, we have GCS storage. Now, let's say, first of all, I'll talk to you about what exactly this GCS storage means. So now see here. See here, first of all, okay, guys, first of all, everyone is following me, everyone is with me, everyone is clear, understanding somehow like what things are going.
Yeah.
Yes, right. See, not to worry about every smallest of the thing. Okay, let's say codes are not understanding, that's not a big deal. Anytime you can just pick the code, pass it to a GPT, or just ask him, okay, explain this whole project to me, how exactly it is doing. Anyone can do that, okay? Then that is not a big deal. And main thing is to understand the architectures, and that is where the important things comes into play. Okay, I hope this is pretty clear to everyone.
Yeah.
Okay, now my screen is visible, right, everyone?
Yeah, visible.
Okay, great.
This code will be shared with the link in our LMS portal, right?
This I will, first of all, at the end of the session, I will show you how to pass that particular thing. Everything will be stored into your GitHub. Then you have this proper architecture over here. Okay, Git guide. From this Git guide, you need to understand how to take that particular thing. Just Git pull. You just need to Git pull it, get the URL, whatever I told you, right? Let's say I told you about that URL, right? GitHub URL.
Yes,
Take
sir.
the URL from my GitHub, paste it there, and you will get every single data in your thing. Okay. Now again, you might ask, in this guide, you might not be told about, okay, how to fetch the data directly using terminal. Search about it. What I told you on the very first day, guys, no spoon feeding. More and more you will search about it, you will get the better idea. Trust me, okay. I mean, I started that like that only. When I started learning, I used to be like, okay, there should be someone who's telling you about smallest of the things. But when I actually started searching for smallest of the doubts that I have, I actually got the 10 times of the knowledge that actually is required. I was searching for one thing, I used to get 10 different new things to understand. Okay. So using all this Bitbucket and sorry, GitHub and all this, like very simple. Okay. It's no very big deal. Whatever you don't understand, directly ask. Try to search it. Still, if you don't understand, then ask me. Okay, this, and we can definitely sit together for another 1 hour and we can solve it. Okay. Now see here, guys. Now, first of all, let me just explain you how exactly we're gonna set up this complete thing for the GCP cloud now. Like Google Cloud I told you about, right? Now see how exactly you wanna move forward with this one. Now in here, what we have is you have first of all 300. You can say $300 as a free credits you will get. Okay, so there very easily you can. That is pretty much fine for like 5 to 6 months. That is pretty good to go with. You don't have to. I mean that is like very very fine. Okay, 300 is pretty much good to go with. Now what we'll do is let's suppose guys understand. First of all, step by step, let's go and understand how to set up this complete API, or let's say how to set up this complete Google Cloud thing that we have. So first of all, you need to go into Google Cloud Console. So let me go into this whole thing. I have written the steps for it. Wait. Yes. Okay. Now, first of all, see here. Okay. Now let me again share my screen. Guys, yeah, my complete screen is visible, right? So currently, can you all see this? Everyone can see?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Now,
Now see here. See. First of all, now I will just what I'll do, I will start from very scratch, right? So how to set up this whole account over here. First of all, let me just use another login. Let's say I'll use okay. Now let's suppose, guys, let's say you are again continue. Now see, you have to go google.cloud.google, console.cloud.google. Whenever you will come here, you will see that this is how exactly the interface will look like. Now I have already created a lot of things over here, so I think from the start, I'll explain you. See, as soon as you go here, the first thing you need to click is under. You can see over here. See, you can see click project over here. Select project. Simply click on the select project. Right? In this select project, create a new project over here. Okay. Now you can give any name. Let's suppose I'll give NLP data pipeline. I already have created this project, so I won't create it again. So you can just say I will create another one. Let's say any name, guys. Suggestions. Let's say data pipeline. Okay. Simply click on create. That's it, guys. You will see it has been created. Okay. Now let me just. Okay. Now see here. You will do select project over here. Now, as soon as you will go, do the select project, the first thing you need to do is set up the API keys. Okay, you will see there are API services are there. See, whatever things that will require API services. and we'll require IAM and admin services over here, and we'll require the cloud storage over here. Okay, three things we'll require over here. Now I see this is all the work of one data engineer. Okay, but see why exactly I'm telling you, we don't need to be master of all. Okay, we don't need to master every single thing. We just need to be jack of all. I mean, we just need to know simple things about everything. We should know a little bit about cloud also. Means now I'm telling you, okay, with this project now you will get an understanding. Okay, yeah, I can also store the data on my cloud. You will get the data about the understanding about this one also. Next time, let's suppose now you are doing something else. Okay, maybe at that time we'll be using AWS. We'll get the idea about that also. Means what? We are getting the backend idea also. We are also understanding how to store the data in different formats. We'll in some of the here also what we did is we have stored the data in our local system also. In some coming up exercises, we'll be storing the data into our cloud also. Sorry, in our proper SQL also, like SQL databases also. How will you store that? In that also now there is you have to format it. Let's say how to store structured data, how to store unstructured data. So whatever this thing you are seeing, right? This is like one data lake pipeline that we are building. Okay. Now see here. From here now you can see here. Second thing you need to do is go to the APIs over here. See here APIs and services. Okay. As soon as you will go here, you need to search about two different APIs over here. So one API is first of all, let me search about it. See here. First of all, we need to create a service account over here. We have okay. See here. Enable APIs and services. Click here. Okay. And here now you need to search about few APIs. Now, what are the APIs that I'll need? You will require. So the APIs that will require are these two APIs. Because see, we need to access the cloud data and we need to access the JSON data. So these are the two I'll require. So first of all, I'll take this one. Cloud storage API. You'll got this. Click on it. See here, you will see API enabled. That's it. Again, go back. Very simple steps. Okay, just like using a Facebook. Nothing. Once you know it, you know it. See Google Cloud API. Is this an API? It is also API. Enabled. Now see, these are the two things we'll require because we also have the JSON data to store, and we also have a lot of different type of data to store here, right? So both the data are already stored here. Now see, once you are done with setting up these APIs, now what you will do is now we will go to this particular admin cloud. See here, click here and go to this IAM and admin. Okay. Once you go here, see guys, every single smallest of the step that I'm following, even if I'm clicking any of the things, every single thing is written in this particular document, already given into the code only. Everything is written. Don't have to worry about anything. Okay. See here now. I think I've already created, so it's fine. So now see, what I'll do is, you can see here, we have already have this thing created. So here, what we'll do is, let's say here you will see, where is that? Okay, in the IAMs, you can see, right? Let's say to create a service account. Where is that? Yeah, data pipeline is there. Okay, where is the service account? Yeah, wait. Let me search it now. So somewhere you will see a service account here. You just need to create an account. One more account you need to create over here. Okay. Now let me just
It's below just organization policies, service accounts.
somewhere it's always there. Where is it?
Left side.
So,
Near task.
yes, organization policies, policy
PAM.
analyze organizer policy and service
Yeah,
accounts.
exactly.
Below that.
Just below. Go down.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
There only. Okay. See here. Go to service account and create a service account. Okay. Now see. Sorry guys. Now here you need to give the service name. Now see guys, in your it's a settings, in your settings file you might have seen, okay, you need to provide some kind of service ID. Okay, if you go to your project, right? Okay, let's suppose if I now show you your project, right? Let's suppose where is our project? Now see here, when you let's say go to our project, you will see that they're asking for service IDs. You'll see project ID is there. See, now you are getting these IDs from here. Means what? Whatever things you are asking, right? Let's suppose now I'll directly go to the env file only so that you will understand. Whatever things which are related to the GCP, okay, cloud and credentials, then IDs. So this JSON file also, you will see that now, how this you will get a JSON file. You will directly get the downloaded JSON file in your folder. How to write the Bitbucket name, how to get this, data paths, every single thing. Whatever is required for this particular part we have written, every single thing you will get it from here only. Not see, it's just like guys using a Facebook. Okay, so few people might not know how to use it, so they'll struggle for some time. And again, what I told you, you don't need to be master at it, right? All you need to do is, okay, I know how to use it. That's it. So means we created a service account, we got all the credentials, and then we stored the data over there. Okay, in simple terms. Now see, as soon as now we have created this one, now what we'll do is, we'll write some kind of name to this particular thing. Okay, now let's suppose I'll give, let's say, NLP project, something like this. That's it. That's totally fine. Sorry, service name. So whatever is your, this, let's say NLP project. Okay, so whatever service name you'll give, this is your service ID that is being created. Okay, now let's suppose here we have, fine, now just simply create it. Now after creating, guys, you will continue. Now see, select the roles over here. Now in the roles, first of all, you need to search a few different things. Storage admin, that I'll require. Okay, and another thing that I'll require is, I think we'll need an admin also. No, see, we'll need a storage admin, and I think let me just think about it. I think we'll need a storage admin also, and we also need, yeah, storage admin and storage object viewer. Yes, yes, storage object, exactly. Okay, so these are the two things we'll need. Okay, now this storage admin will have the full control, right? And this storage viewer will have only read only, so automatically it is being given. Don't have to read. Simply continue it. Okay, now everything is done, and simply click the done over here. Okay, simply done over here. Now see guys, this is how exactly your project will look like. Now every single thing is set up over here. You will see, your auth client ID is being set up over here. You have everything enabled. Okay, now every single thing is done. Now what you need to do is, now you need to download this account service key. Simply click on this one, guys. So click on this one. Here, not from here. Just wait. I've selected that by chance. Okay, wait. Now see, once all these particular things are there, you will see that, let's say we'll have the service account over here. Okay, now these are one service account, right? So let's say I'll go here. Okay, and simply you need to go to the keys over here. Okay, and simply you have to add the key, and as soon as you will add the key, you will add a create new key, and you will create in a JSON format. Simply create it, and you will see that, guys, automatically the key is downloaded. Automatically key is being downloaded, and it will be directly stored into your file. Okay, automatically it will be stored into your file. Automatically go download. Okay, you can just store directly into your project. जहाँ पे आपने लिखा है, wherever project is there, just store it there only. Okay, now project is done. Now till here, what we did was, now we have created, everything. Every single thing is set up. Now we have also got the JSON format that we required, that is for the keys. Now comes the next part is, now we'll go to the storage. Now we need to create a storage. Now we created account setup is done. Now what we'll do is, now we'll go to the storage over here. Now let me go to the storage. Storage. So go to the storage. Storage. Now see guys, in this particular storage, you simply have to go to the buckets. Let's suppose view buckets list. Okay. Inside this view buckets list, you just need to create a bucket over here. But for that now guys, you need to sign up for this free trial. Okay, for this free trial, you will get 300 rupees as a free credit. Okay, all you need to do is just agree and continue. Simply, it will ask you to, do the payment of 2 rupees in Indian INR 2 rupees, and dollars can be $0.02. Let's say penny, like few pennies, 2 pennies, something like that. Whatever you call it. You can just add a payment method. Okay, create a profile. You will need to give the names, every single thing that is being given. Write your name, organization name, individual, it's there now. So select the address. Okay, select the city, select the pin code, select the whatever state it is there. Okay, simply create it. As soon as create, okay, guys, everyone, it is visible to everyone? Screen is visible?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now, as soon as this is done, simply add the payment. You can just pay by UPR code, debit card, or net banking. Okay, means what? See, guys, up to 90 days, you can read the policies. Sorry, 3 months or up to $300, right? You will be charged 0 rupees. Okay, so that is more than sufficient for understanding part. See, what you can do is just create it, set up a UPI payment. You can start it. You will see a URL over here. You can just scan this account. For INR 2 rupees will be deducted from here, your account, and auto pay will start. Auto pay will be activated for this. Let's suppose $300 over here. Nothing. You don't have to pay a single amount right of now. neither that money is never debited or something like that. It's just like a free trial just to make sure that your setup, everything is perfectly in a particular place. Okay. Therefore, yes, it is showing 15,000, but that is auto pay. Yes, Raj, that is auto pay. When you just select it, no, only 2 rupees will be deducted. But once you are done, once everything is done, once the project is done, now you can simply just delete the auto pay, right? So it is not going to be deducted, right? Till the time 90 days are not over. Till the time 90 days are not over, not a single rupee will be deducted. Okay. But I always suggest as soon as you are done with this, what you need to do is, come back here again, delete all the things that you have created. Okay. Whatever things you have created till now. Okay. You might have created storages. You might have now created, our projects you have created. Simply delete the project, or let's say disable the project. Okay. So that, these things are not running continuously in the backend and the money is not being charged. Okay. So you don't have to pay anything. Okay. So don't have to worry. It will show 15,000, but, simply you just have to, you don't have to pay anything over there. 2 rupees will be deducted, nothing more than that. Right, guys? So now see, in this particular way, you will create a bucket over here. So as of now, in my another account, it was there. Here we have already created the bucket, storage bucket. Okay, so here my account is already active. So though I tried yesterday verification, but it was not done, I think. Yeah, it was not done properly. Okay, but see, guys, now the steps are already written to you. Okay, once you are done with that, what you need to do is, in exactly same way, you will just create the bucket. After creating the bucket, just give the name to that particular bucket and simply create that particular bucket. That's it. That's it. Only 3 steps are remaining. Only 3 steps are remaining. Okay. So guys, this is how exactly you will create the complete structure for this particular project. Okay. Complete structure. Now see here. I'll go. Now only things are remaining are this way. This many. Go to cloud storage, buckets, click create bucket, name the bucket and click done. That's it. That's it. Nothing else. Okay. So once now you will create the bucket, now you will get the bucket name. You will see here, right? They're asking you for the bucket name here. See here, get the bucket name is there, project ID is there, credentials are there. So this also file you got now, JSON file. You got the bucket name also and project ID that we created there, right? I told you that is the project ID. So you also got that project ID. So now when you have everything in place, now it's very easy to do the connections. All you need to do is just go to create a class. Okay. Now you need to give the bucket name, project ID, client, okay, storage client, bucket, what is the bucket name, and logger. Let's say whatever things are required. Simply create a function store data. Now what we are doing is, see here, first of all, create the blob and upload. Means what? Let's suppose we are just trying to create the buckets over here and we are directly trying to pass the data directly into that particular cloud. Okay, what we are doing? Directly data stored into this particular bucket name with this particular file name. Bucket name with this particular file name. So this is how exactly you are creating this particular data pipelines. Right? So in simple terms, guys, what happened now? See, this BigQuery is there, so don't worry much about it. Okay, so this is how exactly the GCP storage is actually working. So what you did now, whatever data that you have been created, whatever data you created, all that particular data is taken and now it is directly passed into this particular, let's say this Google storage that you have created. Okay, so guys, this is how the whole complete pipeline of your any kind of project works. What you did, you started from the very basics, you created what the requirement gathering happened, and after requirement gathering, every single thing is passed into the production finally, or let's say in your cloud storage. Okay, similarly to the cloud storage, what you can do, you can also have a local storage. Simply click on local, don't have to do anything. Just give, let's suppose now go to your let's say system, and okay, say okay, this is where I want to store every single file that has been created, and simply give the path of that particular thing. Select the base path, you can see base path, create a directory structure, because see, we need to create a directory structure, right? Different types of files are there, data is there, so every single type of data will be stored in different types of let's say a directory. So create a directory, right? Okay, raw data is different, process data is different, metadata is different, and if not, create the data, and we are creating the timestamp for every single type of data that we are passing, and finally we are just saving the JSON data over here into that particular file. That's it. If you have a CSV file, storing the CSV file. Okay, so like this, we have saving the text file, loading the JSONs, loading the CSVs, loading the PDFs, every single type of file is stored. So guys, this is how exactly we build the complete pipeline for any kind of data that we have. This is how exactly we build the whole pipeline. So we have the storage pipelines, We have the collector pipelines. This collectors means what? Now here you will see news API collectors are there. So it is trying to collect the whole data that you have. Okay. Then you have the REST API collectors. Similarly, you have file API collectors. PDFs are there. So this now see, and it's happening here, right? See here, guys. PDF stored into the GS. Directly you are passing here only. See what you're doing now. Scraping the data. See here. We created a PDF collector function class. Inside that class, first function that is there is to download PDF. If PDF is not available, you will download it. Then you will extract the text over here. As soon as you have extracted the text, then what you are doing, you are collecting the complete data that is being stored over there. Every single thing is there. And as soon as that is done, then finally you are validating that. And then you are okay, again it happened. Okay, storing the PDF. And finally, you are just processing this PDF and directly passing that into the GCP cloud over there. Let's say there only when you are creating, no, there only you are passing here. Where is that? Yes, over here. Yes, here only. Okay, store the PDF. You're directly storing that into the GCP bucket. Guys, am I audible? Sorry, right? I lost my voice. Okay, how long I'm not audible to you? Am I audible?
Yeah, just a minute ago.
Oh my God, that's pretty long. Okay, so you see, in short, what exactly we are trying to say? Yeah, recording is there, right? Okay, screen is recording or not?
It's recording.
See. So now see here. Now what we are doing is what I was trying to say is now let's suppose now we talk about, let's say, news scraper, right? We are doing. So what we are doing now, we are scraping the news. We are storing that news, parsing that news. We are doing everything, and finally we'll see that we are directly storing that particular news directly into the what? Directly into the GCP cloud. So whatever cloud that we have created. Okay, directly we are passing that particular data over there. So we are not storing anywhere else. Okay. Similarly, now we talked about PDF collector also. We will see here directly storing the PDF directly into this source name and the bucket name and the file name. Okay, what bucket name you want to store the PDF and what is the file name of that particular PDF. Okay, guys, this is how exactly we build the complete end-to-end pipelines for this particular data. Okay, complete end-to-end pipelines for this particular data. So now, what is the next thing that you need to do is now, see guys, now I'll tell you what needs to be done. So the next step that we need to do is, let's say, now see, everything is done, all is fine. You have something called as git ignore file. Now, in this particular git ignore file, you will always have those folders which you need to ignore and which you cannot pass into your production, or let's say into your production also and in your folder also, let's say your GitHub also, because that is accessible to everyone. So there you cannot pass this env files. Okay, you cannot pass this particular, let's say virtual environments. You cannot pass all these particular things. You need to protect them at the same place where exactly they are. Okay, you cannot directly pass them. Okay, you can see these envs are there, every single thing. So whatever files you will add into this git ignore, all files will be ignored. Apart from this, everything will be passed on over there. Got it? Now let's try to build our GitHub account. So GitHub account everyone has. I'll tell you now how to deal with GitHub now. See here. Okay. Now is this screen visible now? Tell me first. Let me share it.
Yes, it's visible.
Great. Yeah. Browser is there, no? Visible, no?
Yeah.
Okay. Simply go to GitHub now. GitHub. Okay. Simply log in, right? You can just log in into your GitHub. Yeah, I've already logged in. So simply create a new repository over here, right? Write the name. Let's suppose now NLP data pipeline, something like this. Okay, that's it. Okay, now you just have to keep it public. Add a README file over here. Simply create the repository. Right now, see here, guys. Now what you need to do is let's say now let me just explain. See here. Now what you have, we have created a repository in our GitHub. Now what we need to do is see VS Code, inside the VS Code, we do not have any kind of setup of GitHub as of now. So first of all, we need to connect that GitHub into our VS Code terminal. And after connecting, then we will try to create the new branch out of this. And from that particular branch, we'll try to push the complete code over here. Okay. So that is a flow. Step by step, we'll see how to do it. Now, first of all, see here. Now let's get back to our code. So you can see currently we only have Let's say currently we only have, let's say, main file. Okay, you don't have any other branch, right? So now let's suppose here. Now let's step by step move forward and understand how we're gonna deal with that. See here. So what we'll do now, first of all, guys, let's say git init. See, we'll initialize the empty git repository into this particular thing. Okay. Now see here, what we are doing now. Yeah. Okay. See here. Git status. Let me check what the status is. Yeah, I think we have a lot of different files. That's fine. Okay. Now see here. Now here I already have my GitHub that is connected. So therefore, directly I'm getting. But even if you don't have that, right? So there is one simple command, something called as git remote add origin. Okay. What you need to do is, you just need to simply pass this particular thing. Let me just show you. Let me copy it and show it to you. I think I will already have it here. Let me show it, the git, I'll have. Okay, cloning is there, fine. We have taken, yeah, you can configure it directly also, that is also fine. But how to connect, let me see if I have done it or not. Git pull, that's fine. I've added multiple links, right? You can go through multiple links to understand. Okay, here it's not there. Let me just show you. Okay, see here. See, you were into your GitHub, right? So let's say you were into your GitHub. So what you can do, whenever the origin is not added, right? Whenever your origin is not added, let's say your origin itself is not added. At that particular time, what you do, let's suppose now we have, now see here, you are onto your, let's say, the screen. Simply go here and simply copy this particular URL. Copy this particular URL. Okay. Now go back here. Let's say, again, let's try to come back into our project. Okay. Now in this particular thing, you can see that you have three different things to show over here. See here. So my GitHub is already added over here, so I don't need to worry about it. So git remote add origin and simply paste this particular URL over here. So what exactly URL says? github.com, your username, whatever is your username, and whatever is the, let's say git repository that you have. Simply click enter and you will be initialized inside this particular git. You will be initialized inside this particular git. So I won't be doing that again because I already have it. Okay. So I won't be doing that. Just let me get back now. Okay, so I've already had an origin over here. So I still need to check whether it's there or not. Yeah, I think it's there. Okay. Now let's say git status also I did. Now see here. Now what I need to do is, first of all, let's, let me just try to check, let's say git branch. Git branch will tell you which branch you are. Oh, currently which branch we are. Oh, I did not print the branch. Okay. So git remote -v. What happened? It's initialized or not? Git remote. Yeah, I think okay. Remote is being added, right? Okay, that's fine. Just leave it. Okay, now see here, guys. So I think remote origin is already added. So now let's try to check out. Let's say git checkout. Let's say -b, and let's try to give any name to the, let's say, new let's say branch. Let's call it as development. Okay, now about, okay, switch to a new branch, development. And guys, switch to a new branch called as development. Now guys, understand here. See, you will see that inside this docs, I have clearly added what kind of, let's say different branches then usually you have, right? What kind of branches you usually keep. Okay, so because that is also very important. As I told you, right? Development branch is different. Okay, then you have production branch is different. You have your own branches. So usually whenever you will work, you will be working in your own branch. You can give any name. Doesn't matter development. You can give, let's say, NLP pipeline branch. You can create that. Okay. Now simply, as soon as this is done, simply do git add dot space dot. Space dot means what? Now add every single thing over here. Now commit it, git commit -m and write the message of the commit. Let's say added the full pipeline, full added the complete. You can write your own message, complete data pipeline, let's say for NLP. That's okay. See here, every single thing is, and finally git push origin and whatever is the name of that particular branch. So let's say development. We created development or day only.
Development.
Development. Okay, see DV, LOP. Okay, that also you can write, or simply you can get origin head, HEAD. But head is mostly like whenever you are pointing directly to that particular, let's say, directory, or let's say branch, so then you can add a head also. But most of the time try to add name only, because sometimes your origin head can be somewhere else, to pointing to some other directory, but it might get an confusion. So it's better to write development. Oh, sorry. Origin does not appear to be Git repository. Oh, I think we need to first of all add the origin over here. Okay, so I think our origin also not add. Oh God. Suppose. Okay, so I'll copy this. Let me just say git add origin, and I'll just copy this whole URL from here. Just a second, guys. Okay, guys, just last 5 minutes. Okay, it's almost done. Okay, please have patience. Just last 5 minutes. Okay, now git. Okay, origin, and I'll need to add our URL repo. Where is the URL repo? Okay, copy the URL repo. Okay, okay, now it's fine. Now it's been initiated. Now see, guys, as soon as I'll do push, now you'll see that. See, guys, all the different things. Oh, rejected, declined, rule violations. What happened? Oh my God, we're trying to push directly to a GitHub development, right? Okay, okay, wait. Two always. Let me just see. We are violating some kind of rules over here. Just a second, okay? Let me check what has happened. Repository violations for directly development to development. Okay, push remote secret commit in URL. GitHub data. I'll do this. Oh, okay. I think. Oh my God. Okay. Oh, wait. I think we have some AWS credential somewhere. How did that happen, man? So the GitHub is pretty smart now. Okay. So it's saying, okay, somewhere you have your GitHub storage. Okay, let's say. Okay, I think we have just, okay, I just need to search into this now. Wait, just a second. Okay, very common problems, right? I mean, very common things that, you will always face in as a developer life. Like, few things will always go here and there. That's totally fine. I mean, there is no worry about it. Okay, I think, oh my God, where is that JSON file? Oh my God, okay. So the thing is, we have this JSON key file. Oh my God, thank you so much, GitHub here. I could have been charged for like thousands of dollars now. Someone, if see, guys, always be protected, right? See, now what happened? I'll tell you what happened. See here, whatever this file that we created, right? I have stored the file over here. Where is that? See here, this file. So because of this particular file, they avoided me and they could not, pass this particular thing. Okay. So it's very important that you don't pass such kind of files. As soon as this is passed somewhere, they will directly use your, expose. As soon as API is exposed, you will get like crazy bills. People are just there to spy only. Okay, so just say okay, now I got it. So let's try to add this into the git ignore only. Let's say okay, just take this file NLP data pipeline. I need to take the name of this. Copy the git ignore. Okay, I think that is fine. So data files, OS files, okay, local dot. Okay, I think this should be fine. Okay, I think yeah, okay. So now what we did was just created the files over here, right? We just stored into the git ignore. Uh, okay. I think it's fine now. Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I've added it now. Let's say. So, anyhow, let's say I have added it, okay. But still, what I'll do is, I'll just try to remove this file only, okay. Let's not keep it, okay. So we have removed the file from here. So we don't have this particular file now. Refresh it. Inside the data pipeline, you won't have it. Let's try to delete it manually. So we have already stored that into the, this ANV file also. So you don't have to worry. But still, okay. Let's say we have, uploaded it. And now see, guys. Now see. Now we already have it. So we need to git push. Let's say, origin development. Now we need to force push it. Okay, development. SRC git push origin development. Now what happened, man? Let me just check. First of all, add it. Any files, how interesting. Okay, let's suppose git add all. Again, we'll do. Last commit is not done. But the required files. Okay, and yes, violation. Okay, guys. So now the complete push is done over here. Oh, still rejected. Why? I think still that file is not gone. Okay, is it at two different places? Violation of the rules. Remote rejected because failed to push some rest to the data pipeline. What's happening, man? Well, let me check this URL, what it says. Okay, guys, just last. Oh, man, almost everyone has already left. But yeah, still hold on for a second. Okay?
You can stop recording meanwhile if it's the size will
Yeah,
increase.
so it's totally fine. Just a second. You all can, if you want, you can just leave. Eventually, I'll just share everything with you. Don't worry about it. Okay, just wanted to see now. Just the push is done. After the push is done, you will see the complete code over there. Okay, so what I'll do, I'll just push it. Okay, you will see the complete code over there, and after that, I'll also share you the steps. Let's say how you can step by step extract everything, how to pull everything. Let's say simple thing. Just take the URL, paste it here, and you will get the complete code over here to you also. Okay, so guys, I hope we have almost covered like every single thing. So this push, I'll just make it in 5 minutes. Okay, I think it's already past the time and it's pretty late now. I think for the US people, it's now pretty late. Okay, so I hope everyone was clear with this one, right? Recording, I'll share it immediately, right? It will be done. You can directly see it on the platform itself, right? Okay, guys. Chalo then, guys. See you. Bye bye. Thank you so much. Yeah.